Hello, my name's Deandra Grant, and I'm here with Douglas Huff, who is the president of the Dallas Criminal Defense Bar. And this is going to be a series of videos that we're going to call Navigating Frank Crowley. And they are intended to help people who are first starting out practicing criminal defense in Dallas, or possibly you are coming from another county, you've never handled a Dallas case. And we're going to very casually walk you through what to expect. The first part of this is going to be about the logistics of getting to the Frank Crowley Courts building and how to get in, and then what to do once you get there. So, Doug, where is the Frank Crowley Courthouse?
The Frank Crowley Courthouse is actually right next to the jail, and it's on Riverfront Boulevard, um, kind of overlooking downtown.
So, if you are accustomed to going downtown to the federal courthouse, the civil courthouse, family law courthouse, municipal courthouse, those are in downtown Dallas. The criminal courthouse is on the outskirts of Dallas, what used to be called Industrial Boulevard, but the city decided that wasn't a fancy enough word, so they changed it to Riverfront. And it is literally next to Lou Sterrett with a little walkway in between, but they're two separate buildings. But let's say someone's going to Frank Crowley. They're excited. They don't have to go downtown Dallas in the middle of the workday. They're going to go to the outskirts to the criminal courthouse. Where do they park?
So that's a very good question. And when we're talking about where you park at Frank Crowley, it almost depends on the day. Monday through Wednesday, they have large jury pools coming in.
Mhm.
So they ask every juror to come in to be in the jury room by 9 a.m. So if you show up at 9 a.m. for your morning docket, you will not find any place to park in either one of the parking garages. There is a across the street an open parking lot that usually doesn't get completely full, but showing up at 9 or 9:05 even on a Monday through Wednesday means that you'll probably be circling for about 45 minutes. So my suggestion is you want to actually get there by 8:15, 8:30 if you want to try to get good parking. Now, that changes Thursday and Friday. Thursday and Friday, um, dockets are lighter and juries have already happened, so they don't have large jury pools. So usually you don't have a problem finding parking in either one of the parking garages. There's a parking garage that's directly attached to the building, and then there's one that's across the street, another parking garage, but that's actually connected through a bridge. So you can access the building that way as well. But it's timing. That's one of the things that catches a lot of people and makes them late for court. So don't do that.
Well, also, if you've been going down there since 93, like I have, you might want to roll in if you're not set for trial at like 9:45, because a lot of times the 9 a.m. docket people have left, or jurors may have been dismissed already. And then around 9:45, spots start opening back up in the parking garage for us slow to show up at Crowley people. Let's talk about, you said there's two garages. There's like a bridge that connects go over Riverfront to get you over to the building if you park in the other parking garage. What about what door do you go in?
So there's the main door that you can go in. It's the very front of the building. However, the large majority of our public goes through that door too. The line to get through security, especially again Monday through Wednesday when we have a lot of jurors coming through there, can get extremely long. However, from the garage that's attached to the building to the one there's an elevator system that actually goes down to the second. I know it's not sounds like you should be in the basement or the first floor, but you go down to the second floor, and then there's a breezeway that leads you into an alternative entrance. That still can get pretty busy, but at least it's mostly busy with other attorneys and
Court
staff.
staff, yeah, court
Yeah,
staff. That's where they all go in.
yeah.
So I will say this: if you go in the front door with all the jurors and most of the defendants, if there's a line, you're standing outside the courthouse. It could be raining, it could be August, it's 100 degrees. Whereas if you go in on the little side entrance, which is where the lawyers tend to go, it's covered. So it may still be cold, but there's no rain. You're like in a covered hallway. So that's definitely the preferred way to go into the building if you are an attorney. Now, what about security at Crowley? Oh, Crowley security. What's that all about?
Well, Crowley Security is actually it's supervised by the sheriff's office, but it's a third-party company. Um, you will definitely have to take off your belt and all metal objects, uh, rings, watches. things like that. Anything that's going to set that off. Look, they're not sheriffs that are actually running the security like you
No.
see in many of the other counties. This is a third-party security company that is honestly just following the rules that they were provided. Um, it can really slow things down. So I recommend, as I do, as I'm walking down that hallway, I'm stuffing everything in my briefcase right then. Makes things a little bit easier to go through. They don't ask you to take off your shoes. Um,
Better than Tarrant
yeah,
County. Yes, better than Tarrant County.
and you are allowed to take in a drink or a laser pointer.
Unlike Collin County.
Absolutely. So you do have some more flexibility there, but it is still it can be quite the hassle.
I think the biggest complaint defense attorneys have about security is that the rules change a lot. So you may have been carrying something in your purse for 10 years, and then they will just decide one day you can't have it. So it can be a little frustrating. I generally, when I'm going in the courthouse, just leave everything that could potentially be controversial in my car so that I don't even have to argue with anyone in security. And the person that you saw in security last week is not going to be the same person the next week. So it's just make it easier for yourself. Leave your makeup and all your stuff in the car. All right, so you get in. Let's say you've listened to our advice. You did not go in the front door, but I will say if you go in the front door of the courthouse, you're on the second level. You're not on the basement level or first level or whatever you want to refer to it as that you would enter into from the side. So you're up a level. So if you go in the attorney door, you're going to be on the lowest level of the court building. You're like on the basement level. And when you get through security, what do you see in that hallway? Like what are you walking towards?
So once you get through security, you're going to see the cafeteria on the left. You'll be able to continue down that hall.
I'm stopping you now. Cafeteria, is it worth eating in?
That depends on your tastes. It is ran by Luby's
Yeah, it is
Catering
Libby.
now,
Yeah.
and so it's changed quite a bit over the years.
It used to be pretty bad,
Yeah.
but for to I think it's not bad now. I mean, they usually have pizza. They'll have some hot item. They used to have uh, salad bar. They still have a salad bar.
No, not really. They have
Okay.
prepared salads though.
Okay, they got rid of the salad bar, I think, during COVID. But yeah, so there's, I mean, if you're in trial, there's usually not enough time to leave and go get something to eat. So it's fine.
Yeah.
You can get a drink.
And there's also one floor up a snack bar.
Yeah, we're not there yet. We're
Mm-hmm.
still in the basement. All right, we've passed the cafeteria. We're walking away from security. Where are we walking to?
So you're going to open up into kind of a lobby, an elevator lobby. You're going to see your elevators to your right-hand side. Um, most of them will be working. Those elevators can take you to any one of the floors. However, to the left, you're going to see an escalator. The elevators can get pretty backed up. So honestly, the recommendation is to take the escalators if you can. The escalators only go up to the 5th floor though. So um, if you need to go to a floor higher than that, you will either have to take the stairs beyond the escalators or you may want to consider the elevators.
Yeah, and I will point out the elevators are obviously on every floor. The bathroom is behind the elevator. So if you see the elevators and go past the elevators on every floor is where the bathrooms are. So if you're looking for the bathrooms, they're right there at the elevators. And then it used to be if you used to come to Crowley and maybe you haven't been there a long time, the lawyer lounge was on the first floor. So if you went to the left past the escalators and took a door, that's where the lawyer lounge is. It is now moved up to the 8th floor. So if you've tried to go in the lawyer lounge in the past and you go in there and it's gone, it's not really gone, it just moved. I think bond supervision, is bond supervision down there now?
Part of them, they've switched that around a little bit. Some of the sheriff's office, bond supervision, pretrial services.
Okay.
That's still who's mostly down
So there's not a whole lot you're going to be needing to do as an attorney on the first floor. Just enter there. And then Doug had said the escalators go up to 5. My old trick, and I think people have been down there a long time, if you're going up to the courts, which you'll get to where they are in a minute, I always just took the escalator up to the 5th floor. And then if I needed to go to 6 or 7, I take the stairs because those elevators, a lot of times they're not all working and then they're just jam packed full of people. Now, if I've got to go from 5 to 10 or 5 to 9 or something, then I'll get in the elevator. But just the escalators are your friend,
Yeah.
assuming the escalators are all working too, because sometimes they're not. All right, so now we've gone up to the second level, which is the level that everyone, and we've taken the escalator up to the second level, which is the level where the public is coming into the
Yes.
building, and there's security there.
Yes.
What else is on that floor?
Well, there's an information booth right there in the
Mhm.
center. And then if you walk from the main public air entrance directly through the building to the back, that's how you access the breezeway over to Loose Sterrett, the jail.
Okay.
Bathrooms are over there. Of course, there's elevators. And then they have different offices both to the left and to the right. This is where most of our uh, clerks are situated at. So you will like a district, anything that you need from the district clerks or from the county clerks, there that those floors are mostly taken up by those offices.
Now, there is a snack bar there if you go in past security on that second floor, which is the ground floor, remember, or the main floor. The second floor, there's a little snack bar in there. So if you just want to get a candy bar, and I think they still have pizza. They still have
Yeah,
pizza.
they have some. They have
Sometimes
a
they have
couple
popcorn.
hot dogs, couple hot items. There's also an ATM right out in front of that. So if you need to access an ATM, that's the only ATM in the building.
Okay, and then are the clerk is I mean the place where you pay, is that still there on the second floor?
Yeah, the cashiers and all
Yeah.
of that. Now they've moved some of this around recently, but that's where the cashier is.
Okay. So once again, as an attorney, you're really not going to be doing a lot on that ground floor level or the second floor, other than maybe going down to get a drink or directing your client to a cashier. Your real stuff that you're going to be doing is when you get past the second floor. So, anything else about getting into Crowley that anyone should know? Any tricks?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing I would say is the parking situation, just because Frank Crowley works very, very hard from 9 till 12. And so the place gets flooded with attorneys and staff and jurors and defendants. There's clearly not enough parking, especially when you have a large jury pools. Um, so that's one of the things that you have to pay attention to. Parking is not free either. So you need to be prepared for that. If you are Some people have parking passes that you pay monthly for. Otherwise, you can pay just as you exit.
Yeah, I wouldn't get a monthly pass unless you're going to be there a lot. If you just
Right.
occasionally going over to Frank Crowley, it's not worth it. You should just pay cash to get in and out. If you're there a lot, like multiple times per week, it's probably worth it.
And you don't have, and they accept both cash and credit cards, so you don't have to have cash. But
Which is really nice of them because they did used to take credit
right.
cards. All right, we're going to move on to the next video. So I hope you'll follow along on our playlist.